Hey y'all, if you know anything about Liberian people and pepper soup, we are 5 and 6. We go together real bad. And I had a huge craving for pepper soup, but I was missing some of the ingredients, so I'm going to take you with me around Flatbush, Brooklyn to shop for some ingredients, and then I'm going to come back and show you how to make the pepper soup. Let's go. And don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe if you like what you see. Finally on the move to grab my ingredients for pepper soup, and yes, I know it's later in the day, but my plans for tonight are to make pepper soup and stay at home and binge watch a show or read a book. So I need to get like 3 types of fish: bluefish, maybe stockfish if I can find some good for stockfish, dry fish, and if I can find bitterball, aka garden egg. So we gonna see. So we're shopping in Flatbush, Brooklyn, which is an African diaspora community. It's actually called Little Caribbean. So it's full of people who are from all the different countries in the Caribbean. And this was actually Labor Day weekend. So it was the same weekend as the Caribbean parade that happens on Eastern Parkway. And so there's lots of vendors out selling all sorts of merchandise that's repping all the different countries in the Caribbean. But one thing about Flatbush, there's always like a vendor selling some indigenous good somewhere, or a purse, some jewelry, something. People are hustlers in this particular community, and that's one of the things I love about it. So the energy in Flatbush at this time when I was going shopping was high. Our first stop is Trinity African Market that's on Flatbush Avenue. Now, this is a newer favorite because I've been shopping at another store that I'll show you after this one. But I really have come to love this place. It's Ghanaian owned. It's super neat, clean, smells good. If you've been shopping African markets, you know what I'm talking about. Very organized, has an amazing assortment of items, and the people are like super sweet. So I was coming here to find dry fish and maybe stockfish. So I went into the freezer trying to figure out something. They carry a lot of this fish called, I think, akwabi, which I've cooked with before. It's good, but it's not my favorite fish to put in pepper soup. I was specifically looking for pikefish, which I found. And then as I was looking at the pikefish, the lady's like, "Oh, I have fresh pikefish that just came." Let me tell you, the African aunties love me every store that I go into. So the lady had the fresh shipment box. She picked my pikefish right from there and packed it up for me. And then, of course, they had garden eggs as well, too. Got 2 because this soup is only for me. It's not for nobody else. Got my ingredients and headed out to the next. The next stop was Wazobia. I wasn't in here long because I pretty much have what I need at home. And this is my OG African market in Flatbush. I've been going to the lady since pre-pandemic. And during the pandemic, I had her cell phone number to call her to get what I need. I told y'all the African aunties love me. I just needed to get some stockfish, grab that, and headed out. Okay, now I'm at the fish market to get my third fish, the bluefish. This is my OG fish market that I've been going to in Flatbush since I moved here. The fish is super fresh. They have all sorts, including 10,000 different types of red snapper, because this is Little Caribbean, and you know how the people from the islands feel about their red snapper. Anyway, I'm here for bluefish, get my bag from the owner. I'm picking out what fish I'm going to get. A tip for picking good fresh fish is to look at the gills and to see what the color is like. You want it to have a rich, deep ox blood red. That means that the blood has recently been flowing through the fish. So I'm comparing fish, looking at sizes. I got that third one, and the third one, the color was not looking right up in there, so I threw that back and got my one fish, and then I was out of there to head to the next location. So while they're cleaning your fish, like removing all the scales and chopping it up how you like, you have to wait. So I like to knock out my errands while I do that. And on Flatbush and Church Ave, there are a lot of produce markets where you can get fresh produce for very reasonably priced, and I needed some fresh okra. So I found a place that had it for $1.49 a pound, which is really good. Initially, I was concerned because the okra were really big, and when okra is too big, it means it's too mature, and it's very fibrous and tough. And one of the ways you can check where the okra is by snapping the tip. If it snap offs easily, it's perfect for cooking. If it's very fibrous and rough, then you don't want it. So I literally went through picking my okra. I'm not picking as much as I need for a solely okra dish, but I like a lot of okra in my pepper soup. So I was picking the okra, and there were some young, fresh ones there, so I made it do what it do. But if you'll see here, there's some that you'll see they snap easily, and I put them in my bag. But then if they don't really snap or they feel leathery, I put them back. Once I'm done running my errands, grabbing my other ingredients, I head back to the fish market with my number to pick up my fish that has been completely scaled, gutted, cleaned, chopped up, or left whole the way that I want, because don't nobody have time to be scaling fish at home. Trust me, we don't have the time, patience, or desire to do that. I've been going to this place for such a long time that my friend already knows when I'm coming out, I need an extra clean bag that isn't covered in fish juice from all the fishmonger gloves. So grab my bag, head out, and the most important ingredient for the pepper soup has been secured: bluefish. So this is basically a mise en place of this pepper soup that I'm making, and I'm making seafood pepper soup, which is my favorite type of pepper soup. So let's get into the ingredients. Okay, the first thing is the bluefish. Is my preferred fish for pepper soup. Other people like to use pompano. I think even tilapia. I like bluefish because I like the flavor, and it's a very sturdy fish, so it's going to stay together. It's not going to break apart in the soup. The only non-seafood protein that I put in my pepper soup is smoked chicken, not like the hard fowl chicken, but literally actual seasoned smoked chicken. Then I have dried fish. This is specifically pike dried fish. Okra. Everybody doesn't put okra in their pepper soup. I love okra. It's my favorite vegetable, so there's always a lot of that. This is buni. I don't know what people call it in their country, but in Liberia we call it buni. This is smoked shrimp. Everything has been cleaned and seasoned already. Regular fresh shrimp. I keep the peel on because it adds to the flavor of the soup. This is an adult soup. It has bones and shells in it. Stockfish already boiled and peeled. Tomatoes, garden egg. Bitter ball is what we call it in Liberia, but a lot of other West African countries call it garden egg. Onions, basil, that helps cut the freshness of the fish. And then kissmeat, which is a type of sea snail. This is dehydrated. I have to rehydrate it in water. Nigerians call it periwinkle. And I'll rehydrate it, and you have to wash this really, really well. This is actually my least favorite part, but I love periwinkle. Rehydrate this. It gets very soft. It is delicious. And that's it. All right, let's get this pepper soup started with the hardest working member of my household, my Ninja blender. I like my soup base very basic, very classic. Onions, tomatoes, hot pepper, little Maggi cube. Some of y'all Liberian people, y'all like to put plenty different type of pepper: red pepper, bell pepper, green pepper, pimento pepper, Italian pepper. I don't want all those things in my pepper soup. I'm a Liberian purist. I like the old school style that the old man used to be making before they were doing all the fancy pepper mix business. Then in your pot, you put the hardest items first. Your hard chicken, the smoked chicken, your buni, the smoked shrimp. And then you put your soup base mix and put your fish inside. Then I'm going to add water so that I can steam the fish. You're only going to add enough water just to cover the fish because you want to be able to easily find the fish after it steams. I'm going to leave it in the pot for 10 minutes, let it steam, and I'm going to take it out because it won't be in the pot the entire time that I'm cooking the soup. Okay, now you have to season this soup because soup is essentially seasoned water, so don't hold back. I'm adding my different secret African dust. These are variations of smoked umami spices, little Maggi cube. Some of y'all to be talking about how hard the Maggi cube is. Your Maggi cube is hard because it's expired. It's supposed to break up very easily. I add one hot pepper. I like to add fresh basil to cut the freshness of the fish. And then I cover that and I let my fish steam for 10 minutes. After 10 minutes, you're going to get a slotted spoon. Important that the spoon is slotted so you're not scooping all of your soup out of the pot. And you're going to remove the fish that has now steamed and cooked. You're not going to leave the fish in there because if you just boil the fish along with everything else, it's going to boil to soft mush by the time you're done. Then you're going to add more water to bring the soup back up. At this point, I like to add my okra. Everybody doesn't do it like this, but I love okra and I want an okra to boil. So all the juicy soup can be inside the okra. It can be soft and sweet. And then you add some more seasoning. After I add the okra, I add stockfish because me and stockfish and pepper soup are 5 and 6. I missed some steps after this, though, because I tasted the soup. I felt like it needed another onion, so I added the other onion and took the meat out so that the onion would have enough time to cook down without the meat getting too soft. Added my bitter ball and covered that and let it cook. While the soup is boiling, I'm grinding up my pepper soup spice. I started exploring creating my own pepper soup spice mixture. This iteration has country spice and malagueta pepper directly from Liberia. Country spice is also known as seeds of Salem. Y'all, where this thing took my pepper soup to another level. It was smelling correct inside this place. I said, the ancestors just inside here guiding me. Let me tell you, don't play time with me. This pepper soup is something dangerous. Okay, so I've added the water to the kissmeat, aka periwinkle, and it's still like pretty hard, but you'll see eventually it'll get back to being soft. It'll rehydrate, and then I'll have to clean it, because I promise you this water is going to transform from being so clear to being very dirty and murky. This is full of sand. Okay, let me show y'all how I clean this periwinkle. It is actually so annoying. So you remember how clear the water was? Look how murky it is now. And you just have to like kind of rub it and massage it to start getting the dirt out. And I'll squeeze them into a clean bowl. Look how dirty that water is. Yeah. And I'll just keep doing that back and forth. And then I'll put water in this one, wash it again, flip it to another bowl, like repeatedly. Look. Very gross. Like, I want y'all to see how much sand is in here. So you have to wash these extremely well. And just that movement loosens up the dirt from in the periwinkle. And I do this until the water runs clear, which is a lot. Now, granted, I'm also cleaning a lot of periwinkle. But yeah, and you can see now how it's rehydrated. It's a little hard, but this is actually, I think, easier than cleaning them with the shell on, though. They come in like a shell that looks something like a conch. Isn't it also just a pretty color, though? Miss Oceanette. Miss Oceanette. First of all, who was the first person that realized you could eat periwinkle? What were they doing? This is the periwinkle rehydrated. And you see now it has some like spring and give to it. It's not completely clean yet. We're close, but not quite. This is where the water is now. And you can see it's mostly clear, but then there's like some sediment that still drops in there. So a few more washes. I've definitely washed this quite a few times now. So we're almost there. Much cleaner than we started off, though. This is where the water is now. And you can see it's mostly clear, but then there's like some sediment that still drops in there. So a few more washes. That's the dirt that's still at the bottom of the bowl. If somebody makes you West African food, just know that they love you, because this is truly a labor of love. After washing this kissmeat 10,000 times to get the sand out, I rinse it through my colander, sit it on a white bowl, and if I lift the white bowl up and the water is clear, then I know it's clean for sure, and I can safely add it to my food. I promise you, you want to get this clean, because that sand will tear your stomach up. Next, I'm adding my kissmeat to the pot, my clean kissmeat. I actually wish I had added it a bit earlier so that it'd get a little softer, but I was actively cleaning the kissmeat while I was cooking the soup. Then I take a slotted spoon and remove my bitter ball and okra from the pot and put that to the side. Add all my meat back along with some shrimp. Now, as a Liberian, I'm looking at this soup right now, thinking this soup does not have enough meat. It does not have enough particulars inside. The shrimp is cooked and the soup is looking very, very juicy. It's time to add the fish back. You're going to add your fish back piece by piece, and all that gelatinous goodness that you see, that is pure, unadulterated collagen, and you want all of it. And you're just going to let things cook down for a while. And when I say a while, I just mean a couple minutes so that things can thicken up a little bit. And now the pepper soup is done. Spicy, delicious, heartwarming, comfort food that just cannot be beat. So let me show you how you put it together, because Liberians have a special way of doing it. First, we're going to start with the condiments. If you remember the okra and the garden eggplant that we took out of the soup, you're going to mash that to create like a bit of a paste. I like to just use the back of my spoon, old school style. You can also use your mortar and pestle or your food processor. Now, I know you people that don't like okra are coming to be like, oh my God, I don't like okra. The slime, it's just, okay, don't put the okra in it. You don't have to. Those of us that like okra, the okra and bitterball mix is a must. Some people also have kitterle, which is another type of smaller eggplant. Then you have to have your bennyseed. Bennyseed is like a ground toasted sesame seed that's all seasoned up, adds a nice nuttiness. And then lime for acidity, gotta have the lime. All right, so again, all of this is from a Liberian context. We typically pair pepper soup with some sort of starch, the most traditional starch being fufu, as pictured here. And you can see the bennyseed mixture, the mashed okra, and the lime. Now, I don't particularly care for fufu or most swallows because they're very doughy. And I just like to eat my pepper soup with good old plain white rice or sometimes rice noodles. Now, I actually missed the money shot of pouring the soup over the rice, but whatever, we move. Let's put it together. We got our okra and bitterball mixture, our bennyseed, and we got our lime. Now, let's assemble the pepper soup Avengers. I told you there was some rice under that soup somewhere. First, you're going to take a heaping spoon of your okra and bitterball mash, put that in the soup, mix it in a bit. Then you're going to get a scoop of your bennyseed, put that in the soup, mix it in a bit. You want to give this a good mix because you want the bennyseed to dissolve in the soup and for the okra to co-mingle with all the other ingredients. Then a nice healthy squeeze of lime. It has to be lime, not lemon. Mix it all in and look how delicious that looks. The draw of the okra, the little bit of periwinkle, a tender bit of blue fish on the spoon. First bite, and I promise you can't see me, but I'm praising God off camera. This soup was absolutely delicious. Let's go back in for another bite. Some stock fish, a little bit of periwinkle, a dry fish, the shrimp. Looking at me, say, yummy. Oh my God, the soup was so good. Now I need some privacy. See y'all.